fit what this question is. On expansion, is it all about the size of the stadiums? Look at the teams in the big stadiums, SEC and Big Ten. Now, it's about the television eyeballs and, of course, the opportunity of more money revenue-wise. But there are smaller schools in both those conferences that don't have 70, 80, 100+ thousand. I don't have the list in front of me. I was getting ready to Google it, honestly, as far as the capacities. But here's the top 25 biggest stadiums, according to last year. Craig, you got something to say first?
Yeah, the question is, does stadium size matter in this whole expansion thing? No, I don't think it matters at all. I think that your fan base size matters. So if you have a huge fan base and a huge stadium, that goes in conjunction. But I don't think that they're looking at – because, look, if you have a 70,000-seat stadium, are you filling 70,000 seats on a regular basis? Because if you're not, what does it matter? Like, if you got a 75,000-seat stadium, but you're pulling in 40 on a regular basis, and you're getting, like, barely over 1 million in ratings, what does it matter that you have a 70,000-seat stadium? Like,
how many of those stadiums how many teams or programs with a stadium of 70,000 or more, I don't know the answer, don't fill most of it?
I don't know, but I mean, like the ones like, and look, it is
got to be a handful.
It's probably not. It's probably not a coincidence though that these there's gigantic stadiums in both of these conferences, because you've got, like, in the SEC alone, Alabama, Tennessee, Florida, A&M, Texas, and that's the new SEC. Oklahoma, all huge, gigantic stadiums.
Well, because they're huge, gigantic schools.
Exactly. So
big schools.
But yeah, so like that's part of what they're going for, like you said, Craig, was alumni basis too, because that means television ratings, because alumni base means somebody who's potentially interested in that product you're putting on. But yeah, I mean, there's only so many of those anyway that are, Neyland Stadium or Kyle Field. There's not, most of the stadiums are a lot like McLean Stadium or smaller.
No, they really are.
I mean, that's what they are.
They really are.
I mean, there's 50,000 or less.
8 schools, according to this, is 2021. It might change a little bit, but UT, Alabama, LSU, Tennessee, I could have named these off, A&M, Ohio State, Penn State, and Michigan have 100,000 or more. All of them are in those two conferences.
And look,
none of them have any moment to have to even worry whatsoever. So I mean, there's correlation to a big stadium and a big fan base, but again, are you filling that stadium? Are you competitive? What do your ratings look like? What kind of money I mean, there's a lot. It's not one of the major factors, is what I'm saying.
And there's only one team on that list in Texas that could say it had attendance problems in the last few years, and even then, it wasn't that bad.
Now, UCLA and USC can sometimes be very sparse, and they play. Obviously, one of them plays at Memorial Stadium, right, and the other one plays at the Rose Bowl.
That alone shows you that attendance is not a driving factor in this. Yeah. Because if you looked at games in L.A. here recently, and I know COVID and whatever, but, various times not filled with a bunch of passionate Los Angeles college football fans. It's kind of a running joke, right? Yeah, I mean, it's stadium size, I think, is one of the factors that maybe you eventually get to, but I think that just correlates more to big stadium, big school, better chance, big market, even better chance. But, outside of that, I don't think the stadium's a factor, like I said.
Okay. Washington among the top 25 stadiums, Virginia Tech 25th. South Carolina's in the top 20.
Yeah, and look, most of those stadiums that you say, like, we can go through them, most of them don't really have what you call attendance problems. Now, look, if your school's bad for long enough, you're going to. So here's an interesting question that I think, we talked about a little bit with Tim Brando yesterday from the 803. To save on travel expenses, why can't USC and UCLA join the Big Ten for football and keep the rest of their sports in the Pac-12? Well, that, first of all, they don't care about travel expenses. That's why they're doing it. And they don't care about volleyball on a Wednesday or baseball on a Thursday. They don't care about all that stuff. They'll make it work because they're going to be making so much more money, maybe $60 million more dollars a year. If they're making it work now with the Olympic and equivalency sports and all that, then they can make it work with the more money they're going to be making for football. So that's not really come into consideration. If that was a problem, nobody would leave anywhere because, they'd stay within their region no matter what.
From the 918, okay.